The story of how to train your dragon begins on a rugged Viking island, where life is anything but peaceful. Dragons regularly swoop in from the skies, stealing livestock and setting fire to homes. Because of this, the Vikings are always ready for battle, armed, alert, and fearless. Tonight is no different. The alarm sounds across the island as another dragon attack begins. Warriors rush out with weapons in hand, flames lighting up the dark sky. Amid all the chaos, we meet a young boy named Hiccup. He's not fighting. He's watching from the sidelines, wide-eyed and curious. Suddenly, a dragon dives straight toward him. But just in time, the village chief, Stoik the Vast, steps in and saves him. Stoik is not only the fearless leader of the Vikings, he's also Hiccup's father. He sternly tells Hiccup to stay out of the way and focus on his actual job. You see, Hiccup isn't much of a warrior. Instead, he works in the forge, building weapons with his mentor Gobber. But deep down, Hiccup dreams of fighting dragons, of becoming a real Viking like the others. So he shows Gobber a new invention, a machine designed to trap dragons with ropes. Gobber isn't impressed. He says it's not ready yet. As the dragons continue their fiery raid, Viking teens form teams to help put out the fires. One clever girl climbs up high and dumps water directly onto the flames. Her quick thinking catches Stoik's eye. Her name is Astrid, and Hiccup secretly has a crush on her. Back on the battlefield, Stoik bravely captures a dragon. But something's different this time. A rare and mysterious dragon known as the Night Fury has appeared, so fast and stealthy that no one's ever gotten a proper look at it. As the fight intensifies, even Gobber joins the battle. With everyone distracted, Hiccup decides it's his chance. He grabs his machine and waits. Then through the window he spots a dark shape soaring over the fire. It's the Night Fury. Without hesitation, Hiccup fires his machine. He hears a painful screech. He rushes outside, unsure if he really hit it. But to his surprise, his invention worked. He caught the Night Fury. Hiccup is thrilled, but before he can react, another dragon attacks him. Once again, Stoik saves him at the last second. But this time, Stoik is angry. The dragon attack destroyed many homes, and he blames Hiccup for being careless. Hiccup tries to tell him, "I think I caught a Night Fury," and begs him to check the forest. But Stoik doesn't listen and sends him home instead. Of course, Hiccup doesn't go home. He sneaks into the forest, determined to see for himself. Meanwhile, Stoik gathers the village for a meeting. His mission: to find and destroy the dragon's nest once and for all. It's the only way to stop the attacks. During the meeting, Gobber brings up Hiccup. He tells Stoik, the boy's smart, he builds great weapons, and maybe, just maybe, he deserves a chance to be a Viking. But Stoik isn't convinced. He says Hiccup's too weak. Still, Gobber stands his ground. Maybe you're right, but he deserves a shot. Back in the forest, Hiccup finally finds it. The Night Fury, tangled in ropes. His machine really worked. He pulls out a knife, ready to prove himself, to finish the job. But then, he hesitates. He looks into the dragon's eyes, and he sees something unexpected. Fear. Not rage, not aggression, just fear. The great Night Fury is scared, and suddenly Hiccup can't go through with it. He puts the knife away. He feels sorry for the creature and sets it free. The dragon lets out a strange, almost grateful cry. It tries to fly away, but crashes. One of its wings is injured. It can't fly anymore. Hiccup heads back home, his mind spinning. When he returns, Stoik surprises him with some unexpected news. Hiccup will now begin Viking training. Stoik is planning to sail off in search of the dragon's nest. And when he returns, he wants to see that Hiccup has become a strong warrior. He even offers Hiccup his own axe. The next day, Viking training begins. Dozens of kids, Hiccup's friends among them, gather in the training arena. They may not look tough yet, but this is where warriors are made. Gobber steps up to train them all. He announces that whoever performs best during training will earn the right to face a real dragon, and if they survive, they'll join Stoik's army. And with that, training begins. Gobber releases a dragon into the arena. Chained but dangerous. The kids must learn how to protect themselves using their shields, and how to confuse the dragon by targeting its eyes. As the dragon charges toward Hiccup, panic sets in. He freezes, clinging to the back wall, and the real challenge begins. Just when Hiccup is about to become dragon food, Gobber steps in and saves him at the last second. After pulling him to safety, Gobber gives him some advice that sticks. Never freeze in front of a dragon. If you hesitate, you're done for. Dragons don't wait, they strike. Hearing this, Hiccup can't help but think of the Night Fury, Toothless. That dragon didn't attack him. In fact, it let him go. So why is everyone so sure dragons are pure evil? Driven by that thought, Hiccup returns to the rocky cliffs where he last saw Toothless. And there he is, still trying and failing to fly. Hiccup quietly sits nearby and sketches him. As he observes more closely, it hits him. The tail fin. It was damaged, likely by Hiccup's own weapon. That's why Toothless can't fly anymore. Worse, he can't even hunt. Hiccup leaves reluctantly. He has to attend training. Back in the class, the other Viking kids are learning about dragons, but no one wants to sit near Hiccup. They see him as weird, as someone who doesn't belong. After class, Hiccup pulls out a book filled with dragon species and their descriptions. But when he looks for the Night Fury, there's nothing, just a single line. Night Fury, extremely dangerous. But Hiccup doesn't believe it. He's seen Toothless up close, and he knows the truth is more complicated. Meanwhile, Stoic and his crew, sailing from island to island, hunting for the dragon nest. They're convinced the dragons must be hiding somewhere nearby. But as they near one island, they're ambushed. Dragons swoop down, breathing fire, and an intense battle erupts on the ship. Back at the Viking village, training continues. The kids are still practicing how to fight dragons. Most of them look terrified except Astrid. She's bold and fearless, facing dragons head-on. When a dragon charges at Hiccup, she rushes over, swings her axe, and drives the beast back into its cage. Then she turns to Hiccup, clearly frustrated. "You're not taking this seriously. You're never going to be a real Viking this way." Hiccup is embarrassed and shaken. Maybe she's right. Maybe he is doing it all wrong. So once again, Hiccup returns to Toothless. But this time he brings gifts. A fish for the dragon, and a shield for himself just in case. He approaches carefully, holding out the fish. Toothless sniffs it, eats half, and then playfully tosses the other half at Hiccup, almost like he's saying, "If we're friends, we share." Hiccup laughs and eats the fish too. A strange but beautiful bond begins to form between them. For the first time, there's trust. That evening, Hiccup even manages to touch Toothless. An emotional moment for them both. Later that night, back at training, Gobber shares more war stories, how he lost a hand and a leg fighting dragons. He teaches the class a harsh lesson. The easiest way to defeat a dragon is to slice off its tail fin. If it can't fly, it can't fight. Hearing that, Hiccup feels a wave of guilt. That's exactly what happened to Toothless, and it was his fault. Determined to make it right, Hiccup heads to the blacksmith's workshop. Instead of crafting weapons, he begins designing something else, something that could help Toothless fly again. By morning, he's ready. With his tools and a specially designed tail fin in hand, he heads back to the cliffs. He knows Toothless won't let him get too close, so he brings plenty of fish as a distraction. While Toothless munches away, Hiccup sneaks around and carefully fits the new fin. To his surprise, Toothless likes it. He seems excited, even happy. Then, just like that, he lifts off and takes Hiccup flying for the very first time. Hiccup is terrified at first. He's never flown on a dragon before, but that fear quickly turns to awe. The next day in training, Gobber introduces a new dragon. This one can shoot lightning from one side and thick smoke from the other, blinding its opponents. The kids are instructed to throw water at its mouth, but they all miss and waste their shots. Then Hiccup steps in. Now that he's spent time with Toothless, Hiccup knows how dragons react. Instead of fighting, he calmly offers the creature a fish. The dragon hesitates, then backs down. Hiccup gently guides it back into its cage. No shouting, no weapons, no fear. Everyone is stunned. For the first time, Hiccup impresses the entire class. As the days go by, Hiccup keeps training with the others, while secretly strengthening his bond with Toothless. He even builds a custom seat to ride more comfortably. The two fly together every day, becoming a true team. And every time they soar through the skies, Hiccup learns something new, not just about dragons but about himself. But one day their flight leads them somewhere strange. While flying with Toothless, Hiccup stumbles across something strange. A field of glowing, unusual flowers. The moment Toothless sniffs one of them, he suddenly falls asleep. That's when Hiccup gets an idea. These flowers could be used to knock dragons out. The very next day during dragon training, a new dragon is brought in for the students to face. When it's Hiccup's turn, he doesn't charge in with a weapon. Instead, he calmly tosses some of those special flowers toward the dragon. Within seconds, the beast collapses, completely unconscious. Everyone is stunned. The other kids are blown away by Hiccup's skills. They start calling him a legend. Suddenly, the once ignored boy becomes the center of attention. Everyone wants to talk to him, to learn from him. But Hiccup doesn't seem interested in any of that. Quietly, he slips away to be with Toothless. While playing with his dragon friend, Hiccup makes another discovery. He gently rubs the underside of Toothless' neck, and just like that, the dragon drifts into sleep. It's a new trick, and Hiccup knows exactly where to use it. The other Vikings now see him not just as a great student, but as a true Viking warrior. But Astrid isn't convinced. She's always been the top student, the toughest in the room, and now Hiccup is suddenly outperforming everyone without breaking a sweat. Suspicious, she decides to follow him. But just before she catches up to him in the forest, Hiccup disappears. The next day, Stoic, the Viking chief and Hiccup's father, returns to the village. As soon as he steps off the boat, Villagers rush to him, full of praise for his son. Hiccup defeated a dragon in seconds, they say. Stoic is stunned. His son? The quiet, awkward kid? He can't believe it. Meanwhile, Hiccup and Toothless are soaring through the skies. They've become a perfect team. Hiccup has even taught Toothless special flying signals so they can communicate mid-air, without words. That night, Stoic approaches Hiccup and wraps him in a proud, fatherly hug. "I never thought you could fight a dragon," he says with a smile. "Honestly, I thought you'd bring shame to our tribe. But now I can proudly say, my son is a real Viking." But Hiccup isn't smiling. He's torn inside. Should he tell his father the truth? That he's never really fought a dragon at all? That everything he's done, every trick, every success, was thanks to Toothless? He's not the warrior they think he is. And now comes the final day of dragon training. The best performing student will be chosen to face a dragon in a live battle and win the honor of killing it. Astrid approaches Hiccup privately. "Please," she says, "let me fight today. I want to prove myself." Hiccup agrees. But as soon as the fight starts, he quickly uses a small trick, another flower or gesture, and knocks the dragon out in seconds. He needed to impress his father. Astrid is furious. Later, when the instructor is asked to name the best student, she says just one name, Hiccup. The crowd cheers and Stoic beams with pride. But Hiccup? He walks away silently, looking conflicted. Astrid follows him into the mountains. When she catches up, she pushes him down and demands answers. "Tell me the truth. How are you doing all this?" Before he can speak, Toothless arrives. Astrid immediately goes into fight mode, ready to strike. But Hiccup stops her. "Don't hurt him," he says. "He's my friend." Hiccup knows it's not the right time to reveal everything, so he quietly tells Toothless, "Pick her up." Astrid screams as Toothless gently grabs her and soars into the sky. They land on a mountaintop where Hiccup tries to explain. "I know you're going to tell everyone," he says. Astrid glares at him. "Of course I will." "Fine," Hiccup replies. "But first, just hear me out." Before she can say anything, Toothless launches back into the air with both of them on his back. Astrid is still angry, but the dragon starts playfully twisting, diving, and gliding through the wind, teasing her, making her scream, and eventually laugh. Hiccup chuckles. "Say sorry to him." Nervously, Astrid mumbles, "Sorry?" And just like that, Toothless calms down and takes them on a peaceful, gentle ride across the sky. As they soar through the clouds, Hiccup opens up. "Just like we fear dragons, they fear us too. They're not all dangerous." Astrid isn't convinced. "They burn our homes. They steal our animals." That's when Toothless takes them somewhere unexpected. A mysterious island where lava flows from the rocks. From above, they see dozens of dragons flying in. Each one carries a dead animal in its claws, dropping it into a giant cave. Hiccup and Astrid peek inside, and what they see sends chills down their spines. A monstrous red dragon. Gigantic. Terrifying. The other dragons aren't raiding villages for fun. They're feeding this beast. A tyrant hidden deep inside the island. And he's always hungry. Back on the dragon island, the terrifying truth becomes clear. This monstrous red death dragon doesn't spare anyone. It even eats the smaller dragons if they return empty-handed. That's why all the dragons steal livestock and bring it here. Not for fun but out of fear. Seeing this, Astrid finally understands. Maybe dragons aren't the evil beasts everyone believes them to be. She decides they need to tell the villagers the truth. But Hiccup stops her. "If we tell them now, they'll kill Toothless," he says. "Let me explain everything at the right time." The next day, the final competition begins. Hiccup is chosen to face a dragon in front of the whole village, including his father, Stoic. When the fire dragon is released, everyone expects a battle. But instead, Hiccup does the unthinkable. He throws down his weapons. He slowly walks toward the dragon, trying to calm it, hoping to show the village what he's learned, that dragons aren't monsters. "They're not dangerous," he says. "We just don't understand them." But suddenly, the fire dragon lashes out in anger and attacks. The crowd gasps, and then Toothless appears. He breaks through the gates and saves Hiccup just in time, scaring the fire dragon back into its cage. But now, everyone sees Toothless. The villagers panic. They try to capture him. Hiccup pleads with them to stop. "He's my friend." But Stoic won't listen. He scolds Hiccup and has Toothless locked up. Back home, Stoic confronts his son. "You've forgotten who the enemy is? These dragons killed your mother. One just tried to kill you." But Hiccup doesn't back down. "They're not evil," he says. "They only attack because they're scared. They're forced to feed a giant dragon who's always hungry." Stoic is stunned. "You've seen this place? You've seen the nest?" Hiccup nods. "Toothless took me there." That's all Stoic needs to hear. He orders the warriors to prepare for battle. As they leave, Stoic looks at Hiccup and says bitterly, "You're not one of us." He locks Toothless in chains and sets sail to destroy the dragons once and for all. Hiccup is left behind, crushed. "My dad was right," he says to Astrid. "I'm useless. I'm the first Viking in 200 years who doesn't want to kill dragons." But Astrid isn't having it. "No," she says. "You're the first Viking in 200 years to ride one, to befriend one. That's not weakness, Hiccup. That's bravery." Hiccup looks up. "I only befriended him because He was scared, just like me. Astrid leans closer. Who told you to make friends with him? Hiccup replies softly, no one. I chose it. She smiles. Then choose now. You don't leave friends behind. Go save Toothless. That's all Hiccup needs. He gathers his classmates, and to his surprise they all agree to help. One by one they bond with the training dragons. Together they free the beasts and take flight, racing toward the island to stop the battle. Meanwhile, Stoic and the Viking fleet reach the dragon nest. This ends today, Stoic shouts. We destroy the dragons, for good. The Vikings attack the rocky hill covering the nest, blasting holes into it with flaming catapults. The fire crashes into the tunnels below like bombs. Dragons start flying out, terrified. But then the mountain itself starts shaking. A roar echoes across the island, and from beneath the ground rises the Red Death, a dragon bigger than any they've ever seen, 100 times the size of any other. This is the monster the other dragons feared, the real enemy. Just then Hiccup and the others arrive. He dives toward the Red Death to distract it. Astrid, get Toothless out of there, he shouts. Chaos breaks out. The Red Death unleashes fire everywhere, knocking Vikings into the sea. Hiccup also falls into the water, but he doesn't give up. Underwater he struggles to free Toothless, but the chains are tight. He blacks out. A moment later his friends pull him out. Safe. Toothless is free too. Now it's time for the final showdown. Toothless places Hiccup on his back, and together they rise into the sky. Stoic, watching from below, finally understands. You were right, he says. I was wrong. I'm sorry. In the sky the battle begins. The Red Death roars, spitting fire. Toothless dodges and retaliates, blasting fireballs at its wings. But it's not enough. The beast keeps coming. One of its attacks burns Toothless' wings. The dragon starts falling. But then, one last shot. Toothless fires directly into the Red Death's mouth. Boom. A massive explosion rocks the sky. The monster disintegrates midair. But as the blast hits, Hiccup is thrown from Toothless. He falls. Toothless dives after him through smoke and flames. Nothing is visible. Then the smoke clears. Toothless lands, gently, cradling Hiccup in his wings. He's alive, but unconscious. The villagers rejoice. He survived. But Hiccup doesn't wake up. Days pass. Finally, Hiccup opens his eyes. Toothless is sitting beside him, watching over him. But Hiccup realizes something. His leg is gone, lost in the final fight. He looks down, devastated. Toothless nudges him gently, trying to cheer him up, then takes him outside. What Hiccup sees is beyond anything he imagined. The entire village, once dragon slayers, is now living peacefully with dragons, flying with them, laughing, just like Hiccup dreamed. Stoic walks over and smiles. You've changed our history, he says. You're a true hero. Astrid walks up too, once fierce now proud. She kisses Hiccup on the cheek. Hiccup smiles. Then he, Astrid, and all their friends climb onto their dragons and take to the skies, free, fearless, and united. And that's how you train your dragon. If you liked the video, please don't forget to subscribe for more interesting recaps.